Welcome. This is Kelso with Grim Reapers. Today I'm going to provide an abbreviated first review of the Pimax Crystal VR headset. My friend Skill has reviewed the Pimax Crystal on 2 recent occasions. He recommended me to Pimax because I had become a non-believer, having tried and rejecting 3 different VR headsets in the past. Then Pimax asked for a relevant bio. So here's the short version. I've been blessed with the opportunity and good fortune to fly general aviation aircraft for over 4 decades, including several years as a volunteer pilot for Angel Flight West in Southern California, providing medical patients with free air travel to and from their homes to their appointments. In the sim world, I've been using Microsoft Flight Simulator since 1990. I used later versions to practice IFR approach and departure plates of unfamiliar airports that were scheduled on Angel Flight missions. I stopped chasing my medical in 2018 and quit flying real stuff. After discovering DCS the same year, it effectively filled my flying Jones since. For disclosure, Pimax sent me the Crystal free of charge for a short series of honest reviews on my impressions and findings. I've purchased and subsequently sold 3 previous VR headsets: the Oculus Rift CV1, the Valve Index, and the HP Reverb G2. I was not impressed with the field of view or clarity of any of them. The Fresnel lenses of each created very small, focused sweet spots. With no eye tracking, you were forced to move your head to center the sweet spot over an area of interest. Keeping your head still and moving your eyes alone would not provide clear vision. The lack of focus caused eye strain, nausea, and headaches. I'd even bought prescription reader inserts for each, which didn't help. So, I gave up on VR and bought 43-inch 4K gaming monitors, positioning them as close as possible to the front edge of my desks. This may look excessive, but everyone has hobbies. Most hobbies are expensive: woodworking, metalworking, cars, boats, motorcycles, and planes. The sim hobby is a small fraction of the cost of purchasing and maintaining any of the above examples. You should never need to explain your passion. This review is based on the left rig, which has the following specs: NVIDIA 4080 Founders Edition at factory settings, and a Ryzen 9 3900X 12-core with factory settings, and 64 GB of 3600 MHz DDR4 RAM. A future review will test the right rig, which has identical specs, except it has a NVIDIA 3090 Founders Edition with factory settings. In an attempt to provide as much information as possible in the shortest amount of time, I've copied the talking points from Pimax Crystal's website to speed things up. I'll paraphrase and move on quickly. A link to the Crystal website is listed below. You are watching recorded flights with the Crystal. These video clips just don't reflect the 3D binocular vision seen while wearing the helmet or the headset. Recordings cannot do the goggles justice. The high-frequency shaking you see in this and all VR recordings is an anomaly of the recordings only. This shaking is not visible to the wearer. This may be the fastest open box video you ever see. There was no visible damage to the shipping box. The interior box held the contents securely, and most everything inside was packaged separately. All of the components felt solid and finished. I'll quickly move to the complete list of components. Included is the Crystal headset, 2 Type-C cables, 2 hand controllers, 1 DP cable, 1 charging dock and 2 batteries, a screwdriver, screw, and lens cloth, a guide and service card, and the power and connection hub kit. The Crystal uses QLED Plus mini LED panels at 5760 by 2880 pixels. The Pimax Crystal has the most pixels of any VR headset. For its size and weight, I was surprised. Even after 3 hours, I felt no neck or weight fatigue, and turning my head quickly did not produce neck strain. The Crystal has 4 external cameras, so you don't need external lighthouse base stations. But if your applications requires them, a lighthouse cover is optional. It is also Wi-Fi capable using Wi-Fi streaming or an optional module. Each time you don the headset, the Crystal automatically provides positioning cues to ensure it's centered on your head, IPD is automatically adjusted, and eye tracking is scanned at 120 times per second. Pimax Play, hand tracking, and eye tracking are quick downloads. Pimax Play and the Crystal was the easiest VR headset to set up of all the 4 models I've tried. I pestered Skill several times for his tweaks and insights, so it took me a bit longer to get up to speed. Here are the system recommendation and specification sheets. Here is the pricing of the Pimax Crystal as of August 25, 2023. I've watched all of the previous reviews on the Crystal. Some reviews were not so kind. The following appears to be at least one reason why. Within a few days of the Crystal's arrival, the eye tracking component to their software was updated to the beta community. I had a first-hand view of the monumental difference that eye tracking added to the Crystal. View clarity and frame rates increased significantly. With eye tracking enabled, the software successfully increased the pixel depth in the focused eye tracked area. Before I was given this opportunity, I had chosen to avoid VR. The sting of trying to sift through the monumental learning curve of VR several times and selling the other headsets at a loss was enough. Skill and I have been doing sim hardware reviews for the last 3-odd years, and I'd gotten used to and familiar with all the screens and push buttons. I was skeptical even after the vetting process. Last week, I flew the F-18 in a DCS night mission with friends. Using night vision goggles, I saw a faint artifact of eye tracking in action. Everywhere I looked, it tracked instantaneously. It wasn't bothersome, and I wanted to record it for this review. Sadly, what I saw would not record on the video, but for me, it was proof that eye tracking was on and working. I would encourage you to watch every review on the Crystal, but consider the publishing date as especially relevant to what the Crystal is currently capable of. Needless to say, I'm a born-again VR person. I wanted VR to work several years ago because of its depth of field and immersion. The Pimax is what I've been waiting for. It is exactly its namesake, being crystal clear. I'm planning on follow-up reviews using Microsoft Flight Simulator as well. Thank you for your time, and I hope I've provided enough information to help you make a decision.